Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello everyone and welcome to Apex Online Racing PC F2 round number 10 here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm here today by myself in the commentary box commentating over what will hopefully be an action-packed race. I mean, as you can see, we only have 7 drivers today, so it is unfortunate that we have a small grid, but I will do the best I can to bring as much entertainment as possible. Let me just turn off my Discord overlay. I thought it was off, but it turns out it is not. So, anyways, we are here at Monza, like I said, with our championship place, second place driver, Hittinen, out on track right now, out there with our newcomer, Duza, who I'm looking forward to watching today and seeing what he can bring to the field. So, yeah, if anyone's got any comments, questions, wants to just overall chat, by all means, post it in the live chat for this stream. And, hopefully we could bring some more, liveliness to the stream today, since, it will be an interesting one, to say the least. But yeah, and also let me know if there's any audio issues. It doesn't look like I'm having any at the moment. I'm pretty sure I solved it now that we are in the new year, but we'll have to wait and see. So, but back on the track on action right now. It looks like Flash is taking the esports strat of going out on intermediate tires on a dry track. So I have never done that. Only done it for the memes, and so hopefully he can keep it on track. And it looks like he is, but he's got Zoran right behind him. Zoran, who's consistent as always, is going to be looking to have another good result and hopefully steal some more points today. But going back up towards the front, Hittinen is currently leading the way with our first driver on a hot lap. He's really pushing right now. We'll have to check what his first sector time ends up being. I do know that the goal should be a high 25 sector. It's a 26.3, so I definitely know he can be a little faster than that, as his time trial time is a lot faster than that. But we'll have to see what the Finnish driver can do today, as it is only his first flying lap, but I'm sure he's trying to shake off that little bit of Christmas rust that he probably has on the car as he invalidates it on the exit of Lesmos 2. So let's check on Duza right now, who is set to put down our first official flying lap. Let's see what kind of first sector he had, looking in the race director, so if you can get an idea. 26.0, okay, that's a lot more, that's a lot better, and that's a lot more in the range of what we're looking at. Second sector at a 52.2, once again, in about the general ballpark of what we're looking at for sector time. So hopefully right now he's definitely on track for an 18, potentially a mid to low 18, which should definitely be very competitive. But I do expect to see pole position being around a high 17 today, and we'll have to see if these drivers can come through with it, as Duza comes up to the line and sets a 1:18.572, a pretty great lap for the first time driver today. Is right behind him. Bogan starts the lap, but we'll look through the field again, as I think Gelbavand's in sector 1. It is actually Kalachu, who's currently in the final sector. He did a 52.6 middle sector. That's not fast enough if he wants to steal pole position from Duza, as he comes across the line, and Kalachu sets a 1:19.2, almost 7/10 off the pace. Behind him is Zoran, who did a 52.4 middle sector. Not the fastest, but as Duza looks like he has a spin at the end of the first sector. As Zoran comes across the line and sets a 1:18.9. Duza setting the pace early today. Flash, I mean, we could take a look. He did a 1 minute through sector 2, which is pretty impressive considering his tires But hey, you know, he's just getting out there, getting some rubber down on the track. Yeah, he's not holding anyone up, and it's not driving dangerously, so not much wrong. It's a banker of a 13.4. Behind him, Galbavand on mediums, 52.9 middle sector, slowest of everyone right now, and he crosses the line with a 19.6, which is slowest of everyone on dry tires. Behind him, Bogan, who invalidated his lap, but was at a 51.9, so that would have put him on provisional pole, but it looks like he's probably just going to head right back into the pits. Yes, he is, after invalidating his lap. So that is the field right now. Duza currently setting the pace so far. The rookie McLaren driver, I believe, from Germany, and started off to a great start in his Apex Online Racing career. I'm not sure if he is new to AOR or if he's just, you know, returning mid-season right now, but either way, glad to have him with us today. So we look forward to seeing what the McLaren driver can do, as he currently has almost a 4/10 gap over Zorn in second, but I do expect the times to come down some more. It looks like at least one of the trouble zones was Lesmos 2, which I cannot say I'm too surprised about, as Galbavand invalidates his current lap he's on. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Yeah, I do look to see drivers invalidating through the Lesmos, through De La Rogia, and Ascari. Parabolica shouldn't be much of an issue. First few corners should be either. And so that being said, let's just ride on board with Hittinen as he begins his lap, locking up into through turns 1 and 2. Gets the traction down very nicely on exit. Maybe a little slow on the power there, but we'll have to wait and see when he finishes the first sector. It's looking pretty clean other than the lockup so far. Hittinen comes to the sector board, and it's a 26.1 purple first sector. So not a bad start, well, not a bad start for the Finnish drivers. He gets it very nicely through De La Rogia. Now he's going into Lesmos 1, hugs the apex, puts the throttle down early, goes a little wide, and that is an invalidation. He was looking so quick through the first part of that lap, but Lesmos 1 and 2 will catch you out if you put the throttle down just a tad too quickly. So very unfortunate to see from the Finnish driver, and he will have to go again if he wants to set, well, even a valid lap. But yes, if you're right, 7-0 drivers, big oof. It is, you're right. It's unfortunate. It's not as big as the fields we had earlier in the season, but hopefully we have a couple people who called off last minute today. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to, you know, get some more drivers returning or, you know, racing in the coming weeks. I mean, this is one of the most popular tracks, I'd have to say. I mean, that should be fairly obvious. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Let's keep an eye on XPG Bogan, our championship leader, and was on an absolute tear before the winter break. Let's see what the Williams driver can do on his lap, because I do expect him to put something down around pole position. He goes very slowly through the first chicane and invalidates on entry. Yeah, it looks like he slowed down the car too much there. I don't know. That's very uncharacteristic of Bogan. So then let's take a look at our provisional pole sitter right now, Duza, in the McLaren. Let's see what kind of time he can do around the track. As he goes into the end of the first sector, he's at a 25.9. That is purple, and that is fastest of all as he invalidates on the entry of De La Rogia. These track limits are catching out drivers left and right, and by the looks of it, it's going to be catching them out throughout the race as well. And so hopefully it's not, but it could end up being a race that comes down to penalties. So we'll have to keep an eye out. I believe the two racing points of Kalachu and Galvand, yes, they are within a couple seconds of each other, so it looks like they're both going to be on hot laps now. So let's keep an eye on Galvand, see what kind of time he can do. He's had 1 or 2 pole positions already this season. I believe it was 2, to be exactly. And so yeah, it'd be nice to see what the Racing Point driver can do, and hopefully the Racing Point team can have a big day, as it's really just a battle between them and the Williams week in and week out. And they've had some very nice battles, but it's usually leaned towards the Williams in terms of results. But Gelbavand is 26.0 through the first sector. He's already a 10th up on his lap, and he's around the similar time that Duza did for pole. But can he keep his momentum going through the Lesmos 1 and 2 corners as he keeps it through Lesmos 1 on the exit? Lesmos 2 keeps it valid. So he opens up his DRS rear wing right now. Got to see as he ends the second sector. It's a 52.3. He is 6/10 up on his lap, and he is going purple. This is looking great, but not anymore as he invalidates through Ascari. Very unfortunate, but can his teammate behind him have anything to say? Kalachu is already at a minute. Didn't get to see his Sector 2 time, but he's coming up the Parabolica. He's looking mighty fast. Might be able to snag P2 from Zoran, but we'll have to wait and see what he does when he crosses the line. Meanwhile, behind him, Flash didn't get a sector time either. Was hoping I could get that. Back up to Kalachu, crosses the line with a 1:18.24. That is provisional pole. A muddy lap for the Racing Point driver. But does Flash have anything to say about it on the medium tires? He's only 7/10 up through the second sector. He goes very wide and through Parabolica. Somehow does not invalidate his lap, and he is going to be crossing the line with a 1:20.9. I think he wants to start on those tires, as he didn't really do anything on the softs just yet. Now, behind him, Zoran is purple through Sector 2. He's 2/10 up on his lap, but he's going to need to find a half a second somewhere if he wants to steal pole. So I don't know if that purple sector was realistic or not. Either way, Zoran coming into Parabolica. Nice and tidy, hits the apex, keeps the power down, uses all of the track, and then makes a straight line for the finish line. And he crosses the line with a 1:18.6. He improves on his time, but cannot snag P2, let alone pole position. Farther down, Hittinen is currently on a flying lap. He's a 52.1 through the middle sector. That should be a very competitive lap by the time he gets to the line, but he's going to have to get there first. Going into Parabolica now. Early on the power, ships up to second. Or 6, sorry, geez, second would be really slow through there, but he's going to cross the line and set a 1:18.36. It is good enough for P2, but he does not snag provisional pole. Behind him is anyone else on a hot lap. Duza looks like he's on at lap, so he'll be starting a lap. Behind him is Bogan. Bogan also will be starting a lap. Bogan invalidated his at lap, not that that matters. But let's keep an eye on Duza and Bogan now, as those two are two drivers who've shown the pace that they could also compete for pole. Duza being 3/10 behind, so we'll keep an eye on him first as he goes to the first sector now. Let's see what kind of time he's able to put down. Let's see if we can also change up the... Nope, that should be best lap. He's purple through Sector 1. Let's check up Bogan's Sector 1 time. I don't like how it doesn't like to automatically update like that. Gotta get my feel away around the controls once again, because the shortcuts are preferred. Alright, so we'll go G. There we go. Alright. Alright, Duza. Through Sector 2 is 3/10 up on his lap. That could challenge for pole. He is purple right now. Bogan right behind him. Not sure what he's doing, but Duza right now is on a cracker. He might be able to nag pole position instead of low 1:18. Hopefully neither of the drivers ahead of him getting his way. Hittinen starts his flying lap kind of right in front of Duza. Gives a little bit of a toe to Duza. He's giving Duza a toe unintentionally. Up to the line, Duza sets a 1:18.2. That's provisional pole, but can Bogan have anything to say about that? He does, and it's a 17.9. Bogan is on provisional pole with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left. What a lap by both the McLaren and the Williams driver. Duza benefiting from Bogan's teammate by the looks of it there, and it really helped him, because I think that got him that extra couple thousands that he really needed to clear Kalachu with some breathing space there. But Bogan with a 17.9 puts him 2/10 clear of the field, and he's around that target time that I mentioned, so a very great lap for the Williams driver. But Gelbovan right now down at P6 with a mediocre lap that we do expect him to smash right here. He's got time to do one more if he fails this lap and decides to validate. He's only 4/10 up on his lap, though. A 52.5 is relatively slow through the middle sector, so not sure if this is just supposed to be, well, not sure what kind of lap this is, but hey, any improvement is an improvement, as he's got to get a second, though, if he wants to improve on his starting position now. Gelbovan coming through Parabolica now. What's it going to be as he crosses the line? It's going to be nothing, because he's going to go into the pits, and that will be his lap, and he will have time for one more run, along with everyone else right now. Flash, who I believe would be starting his final run now, because by the time he finishes this lap, if he validates this lap, he should have enough time to come to the pits. Just barely come to the pits, get back out there, and do one more hot lap. But it's gonna be, he's gonna have to be very quick about it. So we'll have to see what happens here. But Flash, who took a very entertaining victory in Austria from us earlier in the season after running in the midfield for most of the race, is looking to be competitive today. He's over 2/10 up on his first sector, not surprising there. But more importantly, it was a 26 flat, which is competitive around for the pole position times, but it does not matter as he has invalidated his lap. So Flash, down in P7, has done a 120.9 on, I believe, the it's telemetry on the medium tire. Gelbavand's best lap was on the medium tire as well. So if there's two drivers decide to do the reverse strategy, could change things up. Flash was looking like he wanted to improve on his starting position by going on the softs. Gelbavand, not sure if he's going to try to as well. Let's check a look. Looks like he's still in the pits. I believe Kalachu's leaving the pits now. Yes. So not sure if Gelbavand's going to try to improve on his lap and start with those mediums or not. Flash is going to dart back into the pits. Like I said, he's got enough time, just barely, to get one more lap in. But we'll have to see about the rest of the field. It's Kalachu leading the way. Behind him, Hittinen, who's sitting in a nice P4. And then behind him is Duza. It's looking like Hittinen and Kalachu are just going to swap places. You know, I guess the Finnish driver wants to get on with it, while the Racing Point driver is just more comfortable being the trailer of the two. So let me just double check. The stream quality, I guess, looks pretty good. Trying to just double check right now my preview, because on my screen it's lagging a little bit on my OBS preview. So just let me know if you have any trouble with like visibility, whatnot, guys watching. So that way, you know, I can just continually optimize it. So that's what I like to do each week. But anyways, back to the action on track. Flash is going to have to be leaving the pits right now if he wants to improve. He is leaving the pits right now. So everyone will be on the track right now. I believe everyone is on the soft compounded tire. Yes, everyone is on the soft compounded tire now. With the first one of the 7 drivers on track being Hittinen now, we'll have to see who can set a valid lap and if the order will get shuffled. Now, I do expect to see Gelvan and Flash greatly improve on the time so they keep it valid, but we'll have to wait and see. So keep an eye on Hittinen now. What's going to be his first sector time? Which could have like a little off-screen like tablet or something that could give me the sector times whenever I wanted, but shame I don't. But Hittinen is a 25.9 through the first sector. Pretty fast, but not a PB. Not sure what the drivers behind him have done, but that does not matter because we'll keep an eye on Hittinen as he is the first driver in the field now. Be nice to, yeah, definitely would be nice to have a sector notifier right now. With Hittinen done with the first sector, Kalachi behind him. Yeah, it's not going to give me anything. So let's see what Hittinen does through sector 2. He's 2/10 up. He's at a 51.9. Kalachi through sector 2 is purple. That's all I know. Duza, purple as well. Okay, so that's just, that strategy was not going to work. Stream looks really good. All right, that's great to hear. That's what I want to see then. Hittinen now through Parabolica. He was 2/10 up on his lap. Can he steal pole position as he comes across the line? It's going to be a 118.0. He cannot steal pole position. Kalachu right behind him. 117.6. That's a mega lap by Kalachu as he steals provisional pole. Duza with a 118.1. Coming up next will be Gelbavan, who is 4/10 up on his lap with a 52.4. I do not believe that will challenge for pole. But let's keep an eye on Bogan, as Bogan's going to be one of the only other drivers who I think has the pace to challenge Kalachi for pole. He is almost 2/10 up on his lap with a 51.7. Gelbavan's retired from the session. We'll start on the medium compound tire. Bogan, though, can he beat the 17.6? He's going to need to find about a 1/10.5 through the final sector. This is just absolutely mega stuff we're seeing out of the drivers right now as Bogan comes out of the final quarter and comes up to the line. Can he steal pole back? No, he cannot. It's a 17.7 for the Williams driver. He will start at best P2. Zoran comes to the line right now. It's an 18.6. He stays P5. Flash, the final driver on the grid right now, is currently on track to beat Gelbavan. Not sure if he will beat Zoran as he comes to the line now and sets a 19.5. He will start P6. And that is everyone, as Hittinen is on an in lap And Kalachu is on an in lap right now. That was an absolutely outstanding lap by Kalachu. I don't know where that came from. A 17.6. You know, those are the kind of times you see in esports, and we're only in F2, man. That was just superb driving by both of those guys. Holy cow. Mega laps from the two of them. And that's still, needless to say, hitting it with 18.0, Duza at the 18.1. Great laps all around. Zoran at 18.6. Flash 19.5 leads me to believe that he wasn't pushing as hard as he wanted. And Gelvan on the medium tires with the 19.6. He's starting on his optimal tire strategy, so he probably can't complain. So, yeah, it'll be a very interesting race. It appears that some of these drivers got some insane pace around the track in one lap. Now, assuming that Gelvan did the mediums tires in qualifying, the race should be dry. So, otherwise, I don't see any reason to qualify on mediums. So, it looks like we're going to have a dry race, and we'll be able to see the true pace of these drivers when we get into the actual gist of things. But yeah, an absolutely outstanding qualifying session for the drivers today with Kalachu on pole, the 17.6. I think that's his third pole position. It might only be a second. I'll have to work on some of these little fast facts for you guys. But Kalachu's on pole with Bogan P2, Hittinen P3, Duza the rookie P4, Zoran P5, Flash P6, Gelvan P7. So it's Duza, it says he's actually Norwegian. Interesting. I thought it said on the sign-up that he's German. But all right, so he's the Norwegian. We will note that down, and we will make sure that we get that right going forward. So yeah, as we load into the lobby right now, I'm going to take a quick breather, catch my breath, grab a drink, just so that way I don't lose my breath here. And we'll be right back with you guys. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, now as the drivers currently on their their formation lap right now. As you can see, all 7 drivers are on the same tires that they were in qualifying, and it's looking very cloudy. It's very ominous, but I do believe it should stay dry, but we'll have to keep an eye on it, as this could just be a very, very interesting race indeed. So keep an eye on from the start. Keep an eye on position change as the drivers make their way around the track, the gap. Keep it at interval for now. No reason for it to be anything else as the drivers warm up the tires now with particular strategy between soft, medium, and soft, hard. I doubt anyone does soft, hard. Everyone but Gelbavan should be doing soft, medium, with Gelbavan doing Kalachu. That's a way to warm up your tires. Just completely lost the rear end there. His car's like Tokyo drifting right now to the line. This is very interesting. Anyways, yeah. So the strategy should be a soft medium with a pit window anywhere between lap 7 to lap 12, I'd guess. And then with the mediums, the soft strategy that Galvan will be doing in the back. So, all right, here we go. The lights are on right now. It's 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, and 5 lights. It's a long hold, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. Colacho gets a good start, but so does Bogan. Duza's flying behind Bogey. He's trying to make it 3 wide into turn 1. Duza's going all the way down the inside, but Bogan will break later, and Duza will back out of it. Colacho is currently side by side with Bogan. Bogan will have the better traction on the outside line in turn 2, which will also be the inside line for turn 3, but the outside line for Della Roggia. Bogan is moved up into P1, but Colacho doesn't want to have any of that. Colacho's going to go side by side with Bogan. Into Della Roggia there, side by side. Bogan will hold on to the lead as Duza tries to squeeze, hitting it there. 3 wide, battling for 3rd position. Going into Lesmos 1, with Duza being the biggest loser and dropping all the way down to 5th in the order. We've had a decent amount of moving as Duza tried to make a move on hitting and almost had it done, but ended up losing a place to Zoran. But Duza's going to have to see if he can try to make the move back. He's all over the rear of Zoran, but Flash is all over the rear of him as well. So as the drivers, all of them at least have made it through very cleanly through this first 2 sectors of the race. And boy, it will be a decently long one as it's 27 laps. And this track is known for its DRS trains, so I do expect to see a lot of action as Bogan leads us through the first lap now with Colacho hot on his tail. Colacho within a 10th and a half right now. Colacho slightly ghosting due to desync. They are side by side going into turn 1. It's going to be a matter of who's going to break later going to turn 1. Colacho's got a nose ahead, but he's only half a car length ahead. He leaves plenty of space on the inside, and Bogan leaves just enough space for Colacho as Bogan holds on to the lead. Colacho's going to have to try a lot harder than that if he wants to steal the lead from Bogan, but Bogan looks like he's either backed off a little. Oh, what's going on with Bogan there? That was weird. It shuffled him down the order for a reason. This is very weird. This is confusing me. All right, so Colacho still in P2. Looked like Bogan got a horrible run through turn 3, and that Colacho was all over him, but just a little bit of desync, I guess. As Hitten's currently in P3. The timing interval is off right now by the looks of it, at least from P1 to P2, but the rest of the grid seems relatively accurate, as everyone is within DRS range of each other now. And yeah, see if we can do, keep an eye on the penalties. Yeah, just keep it on the tires for now, no biggie. Let's see if we change the, yes, the gap's not really, yeah, the interval between 1 and 2 is not working. Same with 2 and 3 by the looks of it. But, well, hopefully it updates at the end of the lap. It's Colacho still all up behind Bogan. He's going to try to swing to the outside once again, going for the same exact move on the previous lap. He does not have DRS. Will he break later into turn 1 this time? They break at about the same portion. They are side by side. Colacho is not going to make the move stick again. Bogan, the outside line on the exit of turn 2 is working wonders for him as the timing interval fixes itself now. And Colacho is still stuck in P2. Not sure how much ERS he has. He's only got 30% ERS left, but behind him, Zoran is right behind Hitton, and who's got Duza right behind us. Flash goes off the track through Della Roggia. Looks like he lost the rear end there. Doesn't have any damage, but he's going to draw up behind Galbavan, which is going to compromise Galbavan as he is now out of DRS range of the driver ahead. So Galvan's going to need to use a little bit of his battery right now. Flash has all of his. Colacho does not. Bogan still has most of his battery as well. That is interesting to notice. Hitton behind him has most of his battery as well. Zoran, most of his battery. Duza, all of his battery. My goodness. Galvan, decent amount of his battery as well. As Galvan is going to have to burn a little bit more to get into that DRS range of Duza, and it's looking like he's doing that now. Yes, he has made the DRS range, and it will pull everyone back into contention. But now let's keep an eye on Colacho now, who, even though Colacho has only 20% ERS, and he's burned off almost all of it. He's going to have DRS now. Will Bogan burn his ERS and try to hold on to the lead? Not sure if he will. Galvan since the past lap of the 22.6, but Colacho will just breeze past Bogan, as Bogan's not going to put up a fight, but Kalachu's going to break a little late there, and it's going to leave the door open for Bogan, who's going to have more traction on the exit. Bogan's using his energy right now. He's going to go around the outside in turn 3. Kalachu giving a little bit of a squeeze like Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso. They're going to go side by side into Della Rogia with Bogan on the inside line. Bogan will have the position back and will retake the lead. A very, very good run by the Polish driver with Kalachu still stuck in P2. A little farther behind now that everyone else is holding position. But Duza and Zoran are looking to pounce behind Hittinen. So this race is long from over, ladies and gentlemen. This is only a 7-car grid, but it is an action-packed one. Kalachu once again goes side by side with Bogan, and they break into Ascari. Kalachu looks like he's got the lead stick, but Bogan's all up behind him. They do not want to go side by side through Ascari. That is not the best decision, but now Bogan right on the rear of Kalachu. Will he try to make the move into Parabolica, or will he do it on the main straight? Bogan's using some energy. He's going to go up the inside. No, he's going to back out of it and thinks better of it now. But will that compromise his exit and make him compromise to his teammate? It does not look like it. But Kalachu without DRS and without the energy to back him up, he is a sitting duck on the front straight now as Bogan comes steaming past him. And it looks like Bogan will retake the lead into turn 1 very cleanly, uncontested. But Zoran in the back was looking to have a move on Hittinen, but he's unable to do it as Hittinen uses the outside line to hold on to the position. But now he's got Duza all up on the back of him. Can Duza make a move on Zoran into Della Rogia? He's still got a decent amount of his battery. Duza will not make the move as he breaks a little early. Zoran breaks a little later as Gelbovan picks up our first penalty of the race. But he is still within a half a second, and so he's going to be on the faster strategy come later on in the race if he can make those medium tires work. So look out, everyone, because Gelbovan will be on a charge later today. But you know who's on a charge right now, and that is Duza. Duza is 2 tenths. He is 1.5 tenths. He is 1 tenth behind Zoran, but again, he will not try to break later and try to get around Zoran. I think he's comfortable where he's at right now, and he's enjoying the DRS change. But the question is now, will Bogan try to break the train up and allow his teammate to pounce on Kalachu? It's not looking like it. Kalachu, though, behind him with 22% battery. He's used up most of his battery in the first 5 laps of the race. Not something you would expect. He's using up even more right now. He's going to need that energy going forward in the race. But either way, Kalachu coming up on Bogan, going around the outside with Duza going on the inside of Zoran. Kalachu breaks later, but he outbreaks himself and locks up. They're going to go side by side, and Bogan will hold on to the lead. Duza, meanwhile, picks up a penalty, but he makes a move stick around Zoran, and he's up to P4. What a phenomenal move for the McLaren driver, while Kalachu was a big loser by locking out, and now he doesn't have the energy to keep up with Bogan. As Bogan's broken DRS, can Hittinen possibly make a move on Kalachu? No. But now Kalachu's going to be a sitting duck to Hittinen, and Bogan is going to be unleashed to pull away from the field. Farther back, Flash makes a move on Gelbovan into Lesmos 1. Gelbovan got a bad run out of Della Rogia. And my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, there are moves left and right now. This is some absolutely fantastic driving from R7 today. Got to take a sip of my drink. Might need to go get another one at this rate. But either way, Kalachu did not have DRS down the back straight. And Bogan picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not something you see often either, as now he is in danger of losing positions later on in the race, so he really needs to get on with it. But Kalachu is just not close enough to stay in DRS range. No, he does not have DRS for this lap, which is going to be crucial for Bogan. But Kalachu's burning all of his energy to close the gap, as the helicopter cam gives us a very nice aerial of Kalachu's racing point, or pink Mercedes, as some like to dub the car. But either way, he is looking like an actual Mercedes driver right now. He's trying to claw his way back to Bogan, even with the lot less battery power in comparison. Kalachu trying to keep with the Polish driver who's been an absolutely dominant, or was absolutely dominant before the Christmas break. But Kalachu is crucially almost broken DRS on Hittinen. That will be huge later on in the race. It would allow Kalachu to focus on the driver ahead with a little bit of dirt brought up in the background. But yes, we'll have to see as laps going forward. The pit window should theoretically be opening now. I don't think anyone would want to jump this early, as the mediums will wear a decent amount. I mean, you can do 18, 19, even 20 laps on them, but you'll get to decent amount of rear wear, so it's going to be a matter of will anyone pull the trigger at the end of this lap and try to take a early pit stop and get the undercut. Not sure, but hits it in. Does not have DRS on Kalachu, and I think he realized that and he deployed some of his battery, but he will not have it coming down the main straight. I don't think he was close enough into Parabolica where the detection point is by the looks of it. No, Hittinen will not have DRS, and that is crucial. Even though he got a very good run out of Parabolica, Zorn has been setting purple lap after purple lap. That's 22.3. Very quick lap, but going up towards the front, Kalachu. Can he brake later than Bogan? He does brake later, and he goes way too deep as he likes to try that left-hand side of the track in turn 1. But as a result, it is putting him under pressure from Hittinen as he lost over a second under braking, and now Hittinen is all in the rear of him, but so is Duza. It's a three-way battle going to Della Roggia for P2. Duza goes to the right and then nestles right back in behind Hittinen, thinks better of it for now. With Kalachu's mistake being very costly, is now Bogan's able to get away. Kalachu's tires might be dead now. Duza losing the rear end a little bit in Lesbos 1, dropping off of the back of Hittinen a little bit. That should free Hittinen up for Kalachu. Oh, wrong button. Here we go. Hittinen down the back straight. Is he going to make the move on Kalachu? Will he make it into Ascari? It's hard to tell. He's on the inside. Will he go to brake later? He brakes very late, and he takes position 2. Hittinen is on the move now. Watch out as he's trying to chase down his teammate, but his teammate has gotten 2.1 seconds on him, but Kalachu's trying to come back on the exit of Ascari. The two of them were side by side, but Hittinen had more battery to play with. Now Hittinen up to P2, and he will hold on to the position, but he does not have DRS. Duza goes off the track a little bit and will put him under pressure from Zorn. Kalachu now, does he have the battery to make the move on Hittinen? Not sure, but Zorn's not really gaining on Duza right now. Kalachu goes to the left-hand side of the track, as we've seen him do almost every lap, but he cannot outbrake Hittinen on that occasion, and Hittinen will hold on to position 1. But Duza now back on the back of Kalachu as well. Kalachu's starting to really struggle. Had a very good qualifying lap, but right now has been dropping down the order ever so slowly. But that's mainly been because of how feisty he's been and how much battling he's been doing so far. And so those tires got to be starting to die, as we are on lap 9 out of 27. So we are a third of the way done. And behind, Flash looking to make a move on the inside of Zorn through Lesmos 1. It's the second time he's tried to make a move through Lesmos 1. It's the second time he'll make it stick. Fantastic job by the Ferrari driver as he makes the move done. But back up towards the front, Kalachu all over the rear of Hittinen. Will Kalachu this time brake later than Hittinen into Ascari? Yes, he will. Hittinen backs out of it a little bit, and Kalachu is back up to P2. And once again, 2.1 seconds behind Bogan out of Parabolica. Bogan's not really pulling away from these guys, but the more they battle, the more he'll benefit from it eventually. Now, as we finish up the lap, will anyone dive into the pits? Kalachu, now that he is out, he will not have DRS. Will he decide that, hey, maybe I should pit? But Bogan decides to pit, and so does Duza. The two drivers and Zorn in the background as well. Zorn speeds into the pit lane. Zorn just not having a good day at all, as I'm pretty sure he is at, yes, he's only at 5 seconds penalties. Okay, I thought he had more. Whew. But absolutely crazy stuff. That was weird. The camera angle just had no audio. I thought my thing bugged out. But it's looking towards the back right now. Flash in DRS range of Hittinen. Hittinen looking to make a move for the current race lead now into Della Roggia. Will he try it? No. Thinks better of it. He sees that Kalachu's got a ton of pace today, and the Kalachu's really been messing around with lower battery levels, but he doesn't know that. But yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, it's not the best of turnouts. Y7 drivers. Well, this is currently F2. I'm not sure if the top split is doing a, if they have a broadcast. I don't know if they have commentators today. But F2's been struggling with attendance. We had 4 guys say they couldn't make it today. So if it's an issue, we've been struggling, and we're trying to recruit more drivers and trying to see if we can talk to the higher-ups and to up attendance or find ways to improve it for everyone, because as action-packed as this race has been so far, it'd be a lot better if, you got a grid of like 15, 20 drivers. So, but hey, there's not much I can personally do about it, but I will do my best to make the most of it. As Hittinen is into the pits now, we'll have to keep an eye on where he comes out in retrospect to his teammate, who's got the 1-lap undercut. But Kalachu, Flash, and Gelbovan will keep going. This all benefits Gelbovan as he really gains on Flash on the main straight. But Gelbovan will hold on to P3. He's on the medium tire, which is definitely the better compound now than those 2 soft tire runners ahead of him. But we'll have to see. Now, looking back at Hittinen now, He's going to come out of the pits behind Duza. Duza getting the very nice undercut on Hittinen. And will Zoran possibly make a move on Hittinen? No. No, Hittinen will be able to break a little later and will be able to stay ahead of Zoran. But crucially, Duza has put 1.6 seconds between him and Hittinen. So the undercut has worked wonders for the rookie driver. He's up to a net P2 right now. Speaking of P2, Gelbovan currently on the back of Flash. Will he make a move into this car? He's going to move over to the left-hand side of the track. Will he break later like we've seen everyone else do today? Yes, he will. Gelbovan is up to P2 as Flash gets a horrible run through Ascari and falls way off the back of him. And Gelbovan trying to make the most of the reverse strategy, which hopefully will work for him, but he's going to have to make those medium tires work for another 6 or 7 laps, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, at the end of this lap, our current race leader, Kalachu, is into the pits. Will Flash join him? Yes, Flash joins him. So all the soft tire runners are into the pits now. Go back to the tires. Everyone else is on mediums, as expected. Looking farther back down, Hittinen has started to close back in on Duza, who's slightly fallen off of Bogan, with the gap being 2.9 seconds, which, if Bogan can keep it clean, is enough for him to win the race. As he goes at 21.5, that is an absolutely stellar outlap, or not outlap, that's a second lap, sorry. That's an absolutely stellar lap, as Kalachu is going to come out right behind Hittinen. So he's kind of in the similar spot of where he was before, but Bogan's been absolutely flying by the looks of it. And that would explain how Bogan now has 3 seconds. But Duza, you cannot forget, is 1.5 seconds clear, both Hittinen and Kalachu. So the undercut has worked wonders for the first 2 drivers, but everyone else kind of just hasn't really benefited them. As you see, Zoran is stuck behind these guys, and he was in part of that DRS train as well. And Flash, 2.2 seconds off the back of Zoran now. So definitely not out of it. This race is far from over, but it's looking very good for Bogan. He's got 3.2 seconds on Duza, and he's starting to slowly pull away now that no one's got DRS behind him. Keep an eye on Gelbovan later on in the race. But I believe the pit lane uses, how many seconds did I say it was? 20... I think it's like 22 they'll lose. Because that would kind of make sense right now, because Gelbovan is 15. Yeah, let's say about 22. So Gelbovan's going to come out where Flash is around right now. So let's... No, that's not what we wanted. Yeah, about 22, 23 seconds is how much time will be lost in the pits. But speaking of in the pits, at the pit exit, Kalachu has gone past Hittinen, and he will be well ahead into the braking zone for turn 1. Kalachu up to provisional P3 right now, and he is on the charge. He wants to bring the fight back up to Bogan, but he knows he's got a mountain to climb. But thankfully, he doesn't have a penalty at the moment, knock on wood, and Bogan does. So if Kalachu can get within the 3 seconds, he can try to take the win off of penalties, but we'll have to wait and see. It's only lap 13 out of 27, and these drivers got a lot of racing to do. So, and plus Kalachu's got to hold off Hittinen, and he's got to get around Duza, who has closed the gap in on Bogan by 0.2 since this time last lap. So I believe Bogan still has a lot of his energy. So he's just showing some raw pace right now, but I think that one outlap, or that one hot lap he did was just, I don't even know where that came from. Because with the amount of battery he has, it was just that was a crazy lap. Duza going wide in the background on the exit of Ascari won't exactly help him stay with Bogan, as Kalachu struggling with his lack of battery power right now behind him. But look who's not struggling. Zoran is all in the back of Hittinen, and Zoran's trying to get a move on right now. Can he make a move on the Finnish driver going into turn 1 or before it? We'll have to wait and see. He's only 3.5 tenths behind. He's not really using any battery. He's got the DRS open, but so does Hittinen. It looks like Zoran's going to stay put behind Hittinen for now. But ahead of them, Kalachu. I think Kalachu might be running a lower wing, which would explain why he's having trouble braking later, but he's having some really good straight line speed. And that would explain a lot. It would also explain why he is struggling through turn 2. As these guys with the higher downforce are definitely getting better turn-in, because now Hittinen's only 3 tenths behind him after being a lot far behind. So, back up towards the field now. Hittinen all up on the rear Kalachu. We got a 3-car battle for provisional 3rd place. Gelbovan picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will not help our current race leader at all, who still has to pit, and he's going to fall pretty far behind. So, as we continue on, kind of holding station right now. Question for since I've seen we're having a higher view count, is there no split one race today? I haven't actually checked the AOR stuff, and if so, welcome everyone who is looking for that. I do apologize why there is no stream for that if there is not one. So, if someone knows that answer, I'd appreciate it. But it's not the end of the world, because it doesn't matter, because Bogan is starting to pull away right now, and he has got a 3.7 second gap over Duza, but Kalachu has now gotten DRS range on Duza, and Kalachu, with the pace he's shown, might be able to close up, but Flash did a 121.5. That is purple, and Flash starting to show a flash of pace. Haha. Anyways, Flash is starting to fly now, as that was the quickest lap on track, and he was 2 seconds behind Zoran after pitting, so he's really getting the move on now. And we'll have to keep an eye on what the Ferrari driver can do, as he's shown late race heroics before, but he's got a long ways to go. But if he can keep that pace up, hey, who knows? Of course, as Duza picks up another time penalty, I believe that puts him at 6. Yeah, that puts him at 6 for now. Galvan's at 6 as well, and Zoran's got the 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pits. So hopefully for Zoran's sake, there's no safety car or any reason for him to have to pit again, because that'll be insanely costly. But either way, Bogan picks up another time penalty. That is huge, as he's now up to 6 seconds of penalties, and he will lose the race to the likes of Kalachu and even Hinton right now. But Galvan picks up a 5-second time penalty. He comes into the pits, and he's decided now is the time for the soft tires. So we'll have to see if it would work. But he now has, I believe, 11 seconds of time penalties, which will not help him at all. So he's going to have to hope that he can get some of these penalties removed. Otherwise, his race will not be too great. But right now, it's looking very good for the likes of Kalachu and Hittinen, who do not have any penalties right now. Let's take a look at the race director. How many warnings? Kalachu's got 2. Duza, we just saw him get a penalty. Hittinen only has 1. So the 2 drivers, they can just keep within the 6 seconds. You never know. Skullband only comes out 2.8 seconds behind Flash. Thought he would come out a little farther, to be honest, but I'm sure he'll take it as we keep an eye on the gap to the leader now. With Kalachu got past Duza on the front straight there. I do apologize for missing that action. But, yeah, Kalachu now 4.4 seconds behind. If he can try to get that gap closer to 3, he'll be in perfect shape right now, since he does have those 2 warnings, but it's looking like he's taking very good care of the car to keep it on circuit, as he's had some troubles in the past with track limits. Paolo, you can join it by going to the Apex Online Racing forums, and there is a sign-up thread. You can go ahead, sign up, put your times in, and you'll get placed in the likes of this tier or another one based off of your speed, and sign-ups are still open. So yeah, just head on over to the forums and get signed up, and I'm sure they'll get you placed very quickly. You can join in on the fun. So anyways, back through the grid now. Bogan's 4.7 seconds ahead of Kalachu, followed by Duza, followed by Hittinen, followed by Zorn. It's a DRS train now. Flash, who had that really good lap before, has fallen off a little bit. Not sure what his battery's looking like. It's looking pretty low. So that would explain the raw speed over that one lap, and he's lost DRS range once again. So that will not help his chances of improving his position. But it also helps Galvan, because Galvan's about to be in DRS range of him. So, Racing Point driver who's not showing the kind of like race-changing speed on those soft tires at the moment, but he's still purple through Sector 1. So I'll have to see what kind of lap he can do after he crosses the line, as he will have DRS down the back straight and then onto the front straight once again. So these next 2 laps should be very interesting. Keep an eye on the Racing Point driver for now. So let me grab a sip of my water. As Kalachu picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is huge, as he is now not in position to win the race. Actually, I believe Hittinen's right on the bubble. So if Hittinen can just stay within the 6 seconds, which, I mean, my goodness, that would be a tall order considering the pace of Bogan, he can steal a race win. But right now, Bogan is safe because Kalachu has that 3-second time penalty. So let's keep an eye on the penalties situations right now, as it is currently shaping things up. Galvan is a 121.6. He's looking like he's going to make a move on Flash. He's on the inside going into turn 1. He has got the position before braking for turn 1, and Galvan, with his 11 seconds of time penalties, up to P6 and on the charge. Now it'll be a question of how many drivers can he get around before his tires decide to die on him.
And will any driver around him get a penalty? Otherwise, he'll just drop right down the order. So this could all be for nothing. We'll have to wait and see. So as Flash picks up a 3-second time penalty, that will not help him to improve his position. But right now, it's looking like we got a DRS train all the way back from P2 down to P7, as long as Flash can keep with it, which is looking like he's got enough pace to do it, at least for this lap. Going forward, not sure. But we got a nice little DRS train going as Galvan purple through the second sector as well, and 3/10 up. Not surprising, but he's going to have to keep setting those purple sectors if he wants to have a chance at improving his position, which is not looking likely at all. But crucially, I just noticed Zoran is now a second behind Hittinen. Not sure if he will have DRS to help him defend against Galvan, who is now only 3/10 behind him. Zoran will not have DRS. That'll open the door for Galvan, who just hit a 20.5. Galvan, fastest on the track right now, will go to the inside line into turn 1, and he will brake later than Zoran and have the position before turn-in. Galvan, with those soft tires, is making everyone... He's cutting everyone up like it's cutting cheese. Yeah, cheese pretty easy, yeah. He's cutting through the drivers like cheese right now. Galvan up to P5 for the time being until penalties come into play. So let's speaking of penalties, while we still have a little bit of a lull before Galvan gets up to Hittinen, does Bogan have any more warnings? He's got a validated lap. Doesn't look like he's got any new warnings, because the invalidated lap should not count as a warning. They could. Actually seeing from behind, yeah, it could count as a warning. So he could have one warning. Not sure, because that's a little funky. Can check the overall race trajectory, but I think I'm going to wait on that, as Galvan is now 3/10 behind Hittinen on this lap. Galvan looking pretty quick. So, but the question is, for how long can he be pretty quick? And it's unfortunate that he's got all those penalties, because it's going to just hurt his end result. But either way, some pretty nice action. Now, on to the main front straight we go. Hittinen will have DRS in front of him, but so does Galvan. Will Galvan try to see if he can close up? No, he will not. He thinks better of it, saves DRS for another lap. But he's going to be able to brake way later than Hittinen. Wow, that was really late braking. He almost went flying into Hittinen there. He's going to hang on to P5 as Flash is into the pits for what I believe to be a tire change to the soft tires. Well, it looks like they're bringing back soft tires. Presume, yeah, he's on soft tires, going for the fastest lap, since all he has to do is finish the race, and bam, 3 points for him, because it's not looking like he was going to improve much on his position. But that gives Galvan a free position, as Flash gets a 10-second time penalty for cutting turn 1. Not sure why he would do that. It's not going to help his finishing position at all. But, yeah, it is what it is. Not much we can do. So, back through the field now. Bogan, only 4.2 seconds out of Kalachi. Kalachi's starting to close the gap. And with about 7 laps to go, Kalachi's got to make up another second if he wants to snag this race win. But he's got to be careful, because his teammate Galvan is looking very quick behind him, and has been able to carve through the guys in his DRS train with those soft tires. He's now all in the back of Hittinen, coming out of Parabolica. He's only a 10.5 behind. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. He used the energy. Will he have enough energy to make the move? Hittinen's deploying as much as he can. Galvan goes to the left-hand side of the track, and he tries to brake later. He does. Will he get the position as Hittinen goes spinning? Hittinen, they made contact with their wheels. Not sure whose fault it really was there. It looked like there was enough space on the apex, but Hittinen, who was looking like he could steal a race win, is now down to P6 with having no penalties. It is gone horribly for him now, as he is now 3.8 seconds adrift of Zoran, and out of contention to steal this race win. Not what the finish driver wanted, and I'm sure we will see that in the stewarding room after the race, as that was just heartbreaking for him, as he was sort of set to snag the race win. But Klavash gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But what I was going to say is Kalachu, 3.8 behind Bogan now. 3.9. Looks like Bogan's getting a mighty run through Ascari. I mean, every lap he seems to pull away from everyone else. So whatever he's doing there, bravo, Mr. Bogan. Bravo. But Kalachu, 3.9 behind. He's creeping. He's creeping up on Bogan a little bit. How can I join this league? I will repeat what I said before in case you were not here. You go onto the Apex Online Racing forums, go underneath the F1 2020 tab toward the top. There's a sign-up thread for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And you can go into that, and there'll be a Google Forms link, I believe it is nowadays, that you fill out. And just fill that out, send your time trial stuff with how the instructions say on the sign-up thread, and you go again and get placed, and voila, you'll be able to join in on the fun. You could be in this tier, you could be the one faster tier, you could be in this slower tier. It all depends on what your pace is, because they place you based off of what kind of pace you have, so that way you enjoy it as much as everyone does around you. So, speaking of enjoyment, Kalachu has broken DRS to Duza. So, message deleted by Nightbot. Who the heck am I? Be a little twin. Steph, send me the link directly. I'll post it using the Apex on Race thing, since it kind of makes sense that there's no Nightbot. It doesn't allow external links to be posted. But yeah, I'll go ahead and... Oh, wait, no, never mind. It's timed out. Okay, yeah. Yeah, here. There's a link to the forums. Thanks to Steph. Got timed out there. But yeah, so that's the link to the forums, guys, if you were looking to sign up and join in the fun. Flash getting another 3-second time penalty. I think he's just going for fastest lap at this point. But let's keep an eye on Kalachu now. 3.7 behind, but Gelban is making the move on Duza, who does not have DRS to defend himself. And Gelban is up to P3. He will drop down the order due to penalties, but it does not matter. Gelban up to P3 and providing plenty of action for us. Duza, the rookie driver in P4, is set to inherit that third place finish as Flash gets another time penalty. Hopefully he doesn't get disqualified, because that would not be nice. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to him there. But Duza is, as long as he can keep a second to Zoran, is set to inherit third place. And his podium in his first race, even though there are 7 drivers, is still a very great feat nonetheless. There's no F1 2020 logo there. This is not the logo. You want to scroll down to the link, and there's AOR Hype Energy F1 Leagues. It's going to be, so towards the top you got the staff, the AOR Hangout forums, and then you got the F1 2020 tab, and you're going to go to the F1 2020 tab. That's kind of where you want to go. Zoran retires on the exit of Parabolica. You must have just lost the rear end there. Sorry, we missed that action. That is breaking news, as Zoran was set to steal a position, but now it's looking like Hittinen might be able to steal a position from Duza, as we have a full-blown safety car. Oh, man. This will give Hittinen the win. It's going to give him wonders, as he doesn't have any penalties, but everyone else in the field does. Hittinen's going to win the race. Even he's putting on soft tires now like everyone else, well, almost everyone else around him, except for Kalachu and Bogan. But I don't know if there'll be that much time left for that much racing, but it doesn't matter, because Hittinen does not have a single penalty. Flash has 28. Gelban just served his 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Gelban is game on, but Hittinen does not have a penalty. So all he has to do is stay within 3 seconds of Kalachu, and he's going to win the race. But more importantly, Flash is now in between the rest of them, and that will change things up. I believe he can pass the safety car, yes. So he can pass the safety car. We will have at least 1 lap under safety car, and we will have 1 to 2 laps tops of green flag racing. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to come down to who doesn't have a penalty, which I said was unfortunate. But right now, Bogan, I'm sure, has got to be insanely annoyed in the cockpit, because he had the gap that he needed to win the race. He had, even though he had the penalties, he had the gap that he needed. But now, it's all erased. It's all erased because Zoran crashed out. Now the question is, will Bogan or Kalachu come into the pits, or do they stay out? Bogan's into the pits. Thinks better of it. Kalachu into the pits as well. Now, I guess it'll be a matter of how fast are the guys on track going in comparison to everyone else. And will anyone be able to get a sense of an undercut? Will they be able to? I don't know. We'll have to see, as everyone puts on the soft compound tire. So whatever racing we have left will be on the fastest compound tire. But it's looking like Bogan will retain the lead. Not surprising there. Kalachu holds on to P2 because he had enough of a gap. Flash P3, Duza P4, Gelderman P5 and Hittinen P6. So right now Hittinen's just going to shoot up the order. This is absolutely crazy. So we're on lap 25 out of 27 now. And everything is just kicking off. Like, this is just crazy. So I don't know if there was any contact. Let's take a look at the incident report. If there's any contact with Zorn. Terminal damage. Yeah, no contact there. So, not sure if I guess he just lost it in Ascari. I mean, it's just very possible with the tires. So, unfortunate to see Zorn DNF today, but it'll give us some very interesting last 2 laps. Maybe last lap even. Not sure. Hopefully for Bogan or Kalachu, they get 1 more lap of racing. At least 1. But it's gonna be an all-out sprint to the finish. It's gonna be like a hot lap. So yeah, we'll have to see. But right now, Hittinen, we're just gonna keep it on the gap to the leader. Because Hittinen right now, all the way down in easy P6, and he had the spin because he spun off a Gelderman, is gonna win the race. I don't think I've ever seen something like this. Safety cars in this lap. Okay, we'll have 2 green flag laps of racing. Okay, so it's a matter of can Hittinen stay within 3 seconds of Kalachi. Right now, they're 2 seconds apart. It is sure to spread out a little bit more as these guys go back to racing. But we'll have to see. So we're going to keep an eye now on the gap to leader. I think that's the best way to go. Is Bogan going to go? No, Bogan is our pace hitter right now. He's going to have to find a way to make 3 seconds on Kalachu. And Kalachu clearly had pace as what we saw in qualifying over the course of 1 lap. As Bogan is starting to go. Is he going? Yeah, Bogan's going now. So here we go. We are back under racing in green flag conditions. We got 2 laps to go. I'll get a direct link after the race. So just hang on tight, guys. I will provide a PC link directly to the European leagues. But into turn 1, everyone will hold position, but we are back underway right now. Kalachu has got 1.5 seconds to hit, and he's got 2 seconds to hit in now. Kalachu needs to get 1 more if he wants to win this race, but he's got Bogan pulling him along. Not sure if DRS will be deployed next lap, but everyone is using their energy now. They have to. Hittinen in the back needs to get a move on if he wants to keep with Kalachu. He's still got a decent amount of energy right now, but he's got 1.6 seconds, so he's keeping with them, but not sure if enough. Bogan has already broken DRS to Kalachu. Kalachu trying to hang on. The 2 of them burning through all their energy with Flash 1.3 behind Bogan. So everyone's within DRS of each other now, with Hittinen able to still beat everyone. But we're going to see some very fast laps with Bogan probably setting a new purple lap for us right now, as he is out of battery deployment for the lap. Gelderman picks up another 3-second time penalty. That just guarantees that he'll finish 5th, with Flash the only one finishing behind him now. Bogan out of energy for the end of the lap. Kalachu still having plenty of energy, and he's got 2.5 seconds to hit in now. 1 lap to go. Hit Kalachu, fastest lap with a 1:20.3. No one's able to top that. We got 1 lap to go. Kalachu all up behind Bogan. He's 2 seconds behind him. He's very close, but he's not close enough to make the move. He's got 2.5 to Hittinen right now. He's only got 2.1. Hittinen, though, is going to be held up by Flash, who's holding up the rest of the field. It's a 1-2 battle for the win on track, but it's also only a 1-2 battle for provisional for net P1 after penalties. Kalachu needs to find a half second as Flash is battling the back as Gelderman goes off the track through Della Rogia, and he's side by side with Duza into Lesmos 1. Gelderman and Duza both got overtaken in Lesmos 1 as Gelderman makes the move stick in Lesmos 1, but this compromises Hittinen. He is now 3 seconds behind Kalachu. The 2 of them, it is so close. We do not know who's going to win this race, ladies and gentlemen. Right now it is in favor of Hittinen. We are on the last lap with 1 second to go. Kalachu barely has any energy left. He's got the advantage right now. Hittinen did not get a good run out of Ascari. He needs to somehow get around the battling Gelderman and Duza, but I do not think he will be able to, as Bogan will cross the line in P1, but Kalachu will win the race off of penalties. What a drive and what luck for the Racing Point driver as he wins the Italian Grand Prix, with Hittinen finishing P2. Wow. Wow, that was an insane finish to the race, folks. Wow, with Gelderman getting the game's driver of the day. I think I have to give that to Kalachu as he clawed back in. I mean, it is tears for Bogan. Still snags a P3, but lost the race win there. But wow, what a drive, folks. What a drive. That was some insane last 2 laps to the race there, as Kalachu comes out on top, as he's able to get the gap thanks to hitting and getting stuck behind the battling Duza and Gelbevand. So I will post the direct link to the sign up thread right now. Alrighty, there it is. As our race winner today is Kalachu, as he stands on the top step of the podium with a a 0.8 second gap that he got all in the final sector of the race there to beat Hittinen off of penalties. What a drive it has been for him, as we will quickly go through the race director now in case there is any need for it in the steering panel, as we did see the contact between Hittinen and Gelbevand, which hurt Hittenen's race, and it looked like it was all over, but he was able to snag a P2 because he kept it clean. Almost won the race there, but either way, that was some fantastic driving today. Hopefully we get more than 7 drivers next time. Not much I can personally do about it, but yeah, hopefully we get a bigger crowd. I thank everyone for watching today and for watching this presentation from Hype Energy, Apex Online Racing, Formula 1 leagues, and I look forward to seeing everyone next week when we get to Singapore. I know I'm excited to watch the race. My voice box might not be, as it is gone right now, but hey, I look forward to seeing everyone next week, and have a great rest of your weekend, and have a safe and happy week.